Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sah viryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsa Chanuna Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We are seeing chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. And we are seeing most beautiful section of this chapter from Shlokas number 13 to 17 or so. Yeah, so Shlokas number 13 to 21 is Jnana Yoga is presented. And we saw up to shlokas number 14 and 15 together, the definition of God as presented by Bhagavan. We saw that. And then for shlokas number 16, Bhagavan very beautifully describes what is Jnanam. And that Jnanam is something which fills us up from inside, which is what I was talking about as the light of lamp, which is lit within. And that lit lamp within reveals who we are. It reveals to us our purpose. And it reveals to us where we are heading or how we should head in this world. All this is presented by Bhagavan over here in this shloka, and that is where we left off. We said, Jnane natu tadajnanam yesham nashitamatmanaha tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. When the ignorance is completely destroyed, tad ajnanam yesham atmanaha jnanena nashayati. When this knowledge is destroyed, when this ignorance is completely destroyed by knowledge and clear knowledge about our identity, that I am nothing less than absolute truth. I'm nothing less than absolute contentment. And I'm nothing less than absolute bliss. And I am never created and I'm never going to die. But with the association of this particular upadhi of this body that I have temporarily inherited, I should not lose my knowledge of myself. And when that remains, when this knowledge remains that I am complete, I am happiness, I don't seek happiness, I am happiness. And with the knowledge that I am happiness, whatever I have a privilege to, whatever I have privilege to engage in, I'm engaging out of happiness, and I'm not engaging for some happiness. When that happens, over here it is said, Tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. It reveals, the absolute reveals itself within us in this understanding that I am complete. This is the light of all lights, and thus Bhagavan refers to it as Adityavat Jnanam. Adityavat, like the sun god. The sun god shines brilliantly. And it is symbolically the light of the sunlight which floods every nook and corner of this Milky Way galaxy. In the same way, my understanding of who I am fills up my entire being within and without as the expression of my joy, happiness, and gratitude. This is where we left off. Continuing, now Bhagavan from 17 reveals to us this man of wisdom and some of the salient characteristics of a man of knowledge. Tad buddhayastadaatmanaha tannishtas tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Kalmashaha, all the impurities. Nirdhuta, washed off. Jnana, with knowledge. With knowledge, all impurities, when they are washed out. And what are the impurities? The impurities are, I am a limited intellect. What do I know? I am such a fool. I am such an ignorant. We should never say that. None of us are fools. None of us are fools. We are the absolute light. It just so happens that that absolute light is not able to reflect because of some little obstacles. But if we keep on telling ourselves, I'm a donkey, then what's the purpose behind it? Even that donkey doesn't call itself donkey. It's happily grazing grass outside. We've assumed that the donkey is dumb. No, it is not. It is quite intelligent. I still remember, in our Uttarkashi ashram, it was inaugurated, and Guruji inaugurated this Uttarkashi ashram. And Uttarkashi is in the Himalayan mountains. And our ashram sits on the slope of the mountain. And they have built a huge building on these slopes. And in the inauguration day, after invocation, he folded his hand. He said, I first thank all the donkeys who made this ashram possible, because they are the ones who carried every single brick, every grain of sand, and every bag of cement to build this ashram. Without the donkeys, we would not have this ashram. So I bow down, Shashtang Namaskar, I offer to donkeys. And we use donkey as some, ill words like a gali or something. We should not, because they are also doing their karma so brilliantly. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, we should never label ourselves that I'm alpagnya, I'm alpabuddhiman, that Bhagavan has not given me knowledge, Bhagavan has not given me buddhi, Bhagavan has not given me wealth, Bhagavan has given a lot to us. So the impurities are what we label ourselves and our world around us. That is called ignorance. When knowledge happens, we remove the unwanted thoughts, the contrary thoughts. So over here it is said, Jnanena nirdhuta kalmashaha. All impurities are washed out. Impurities at the level of intellect, that I am not educated, that I am not smart, all those things. With mind, what to do? I'm so emotional, or I have no emotions, or I don't know how to talk to people. I'm not a people's person. I am a people's person. I talk to all those things, whatever it is. We have to stop labeling ourselves. That is the impurity of the mind. Allow the mind to just be. And at the level of the body, I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm this, I'm that, not born in a appropriate family lineage, this, that. Array, all this ignorance at the level of the BMI and all the difficult karma vasanas that we have and karmic debt and all those things, let it be. Take 1 day and 1 hour at a time. We have a lot to be grateful for. So when these impurities are removed, what happens to such a person? We go to the first line. Tad buddhi. Now we will say tadeva buddhi. This buddhi is what? Absolute. This is not ordinary buddhi. This is divine consciousness. Tad buddhayaha tad atmanaha. Atmana over here, literally, it is mind is referred to. Technical language, Atma is also referred to as mind. That's why Gita is to be studied with a teacher. Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya writes all this. Okay, so tadatmanaha tanishtha. Nishtha is a dwelling place. The body dwells in a particular place. We call it San Antonio, in a home, on a particular street, this, that. But for a man of wisdom, the buddhi is tad buddhayaha. Mind, tadatmanaha. Divine consciousness alone is my mind. Tannishthaha. My dwelling place is Bhagavan. Bas. It is like Meera saying, Mere to giridhara gopala dusro na koi. Meera she was only, she had offered herself to Giridhari. Bas. Madhava Madhusudana Giridhari. Bas. This is called, from the standpoint of knowledge, tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tannishthaha, gachanti. Over here, gachantya punaravrittim. Once that thought has been taken to the higher, such a person will never come back to the lower thing, lower worlds. When throughout the day they are reminded, they know, I am that. Not that they will advertise it to the whole world that I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. They will not advertise to anyone, but they know that they are nothing less than Brahman. I am that. I am absolute divinity. And this undercurrent remains in all that they do, in all that they are, and in all that they offer themselves. Such is a man of wisdom. This person over here is called a man of knowledge. And such a person, when they look at this world filled with three types of sattva, rajas, and tamas, that is the next shloka. I know I've done this, but I am going to redo shlokas 17 and 18 because they're important. So, vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shunichaiva shvapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. So over here it is said that vidya vinaya sampanne, vidya knowledge, vinaya the expression of that knowledge as wisdom. It is not that they have learned it, but then they put it away. No, they actually utilize the wisdom. How do they utilize the wisdom? By being in awareness, knowing my place in time, where I am, what I am doing, reminded of my higher identity as that absolute, and the lower identity as that same higher privileged to serve this world. That understanding is there, and I'm not just some perceiver, feeler, thinker, some poor, unfortunate soul. No, I am nothing but absolute. And that expression in living is called Vinaya. Over here, as loose translation is humility. But even like today, I was saying, gratitude and humility is born out of knowledge and understanding. Without that, we will not be able to say thank you to someone. It is a recognition that they have added a value to my being, whether an object, a being, a situation. So, vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi and hastini. Brahmana represents sattvic. Gavi, a cow, represents rajoguna. Hasti represents a tamoguna. Hasti, elephant. Elephant is continuously looking for rubbing with a female, or even a herd. They will rub with each other and continuously remaining at a stool level, at the gross level, and that is called tamoguna, tamas. So elephant represents that tamoguna. Even though intelligent, yet the prakruti, the form and what is made is nothing but tamas, indolence. Then comes gavi. Gavi is a cow. Cow represents rajoguna. It is rajas. Continuously it goes eating, and even after it is eating, it will sit, regurgitate, and keep on chewing. It is a prakruti of rajoguna. Sattvic, but the expression is rajas. And a man of wisdom, the knower of truth alone over here is referred to as brahmane. Gurudev used to say not just the threaded variety, because there are ample of threaded variety who are rajasic and tamasic. So not just the upborn brahmana, but the one who actually lives a life of wisdom. So Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. And the third one is Shwapaka, a person who is such a Rajo Guna, such a Tamo Guna, that it is a disgusting Tamo Guna which has no emotions. At least the elephant has emotions. But this person is such a horrible tamas, not having any feelings, that a very pet of a dog which is known for its loyalty, they will destroy and eat. Shwapaka, literally a dog eater. A person who is such a tamasic person that they will not utilize any of this equipment which is given. So, Pandita Samadarshina, in case if any of these people arrive in knower of truth, a cow, an elephant, and a lower person of expression of the inferior intellect as the dog eater, the man of wisdom will not judge each one of them. In whichever way he has to transact, he will transact, but the judgment is not there. And the absence of judgment over here is referred to as Samadarshi. We are too hasty in passing a judgment. Sometimes, 2 cents worth of opinion we give off everywhere. Whether required or not required, we are happy to give 2 cents worth of opinion. But a man of wisdom never ever comes down to any type of conclusion, nor do they make any harsh or rash decisions or judgments. Such a person is known as a man of wisdom. Their subconscious is clean. That is what is meant by Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Panditaha is a title of a man of wisdom, not the local temple priest where you ask a question and you don't get an answer. We refer to them as priest. Yes, their occupation is referred to as Panditji. In North India, a temple priest is referred to as Panditji. But the Sanskrit definition of a Pandit is Panda Yasya Asti Iti Panditaha. The one who has prajna, consciousness, and who dwells in consciousness is called a Pandita. Thus, Panditaha Samadarshinaha. This is a man of wisdom. So, a cultured person is a man of wisdom having this knowledge. This is the light of all lights to be lit within, and that transforms our living, our actions, our fruit of actions, our destiny. Everything is changed when we change our own dwelling place within and recognize that I am this absolute divinity, none other than consciousness, and consciousness alone is what I am. Continuing, Shlokas 18 through 26 now, the nature of a self-realized soul is talked about. Brahma Jnani, very beautifully. Now, from 18 all the way up to 26, how does a man of wisdom behave, how do they act, and their nature is presented over here. Continuing, Shloka 19. Ihaivatayirjita sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. So, why does Bhagavan give in Bhagavad Gita, in every chapter, a description of a man of wisdom? If we all are not men of wisdom, why does Bhagavan give? So the reason Bhagavan gives is, whatever are the qualities and nature of a man of wisdom, we can use that as spiritual practice to cultivate that. That is why Bhagavan presents it. Bhagavan presents a man of wisdom's qualities and the nature of a man of wisdom for us to cultivate those qualities and to put forth effort to dwell in such understanding, to force our mind to practice some of these qualities. By practice of it, such a mind and intellect eventually becomes the knower of truth. Thus, Bhagavan has presented this. So the first one, previous shloka 18, we can reduce our judgment. This is not for us to judge someone else. Oh, they are making so much. This is for us. Next time when we make judgment, we capture ourselves. Many times I capture. Many times I realize, yeah, I am an opinionated person. Yes, I am a judgmental person. Now let go of that judgment. Let go of that. So very important that we work on ourselves to cleanse ourselves. Because if we don't, we will be a burden to ourselves. That's all. Ihaiva, iha eva, taihi jitaha sargaha. Here and here alone, these people have conquered creation. How do they conquer creation? By not taking birth again. Here alone, they have overcome all the future births. How? To whom? Yesham. Who is this Yesham? Who are these people? Manaha samyavastham sthitaha. That mind is resting in equanimous condition. These people whose minds are resting in equanimous condition. Now, what is that? See, our mind gets disturbed by three things: Vastu, Vyakti, and Paristhiti. Our mind gets disturbed by Vastu, objects. If we get a particular object that we did not want, we are disturbed. If we get a particular object that we wanted, we are overjoyed and we are elated. That also equanimous is gone. So both ways, we tax our mind of emotions. So that is object. Then comes Vyakti. Vyakti, people. Certain people we are drawn to, our friends. We want to spend time with them. Certain people, if we remotely even see them at a party, turn around and go in the opposite direction. This is called raga and dvesha. Raga, we want to go towards people who are conducive with me, who sync with me, who gel with me. But then others, if we don't gel with them, if we don't see eye to eye with them, so, oh, I wish I had not come to this party. I have to see his face. Then that is also taxing our equipment of healthy emotions. We bubble up negative emotions. So that's vyakti. So vastu is very easy to deal with. Either we like it, we don't like it. If we like it, we keep it. If we don't like it, we get rid of it. But people, they press all the wrong buttons in our life. It's all raga. When people press all the right buttons in our life, raga. When they don't, dvesha. If somebody is talking all good about me, oh, of course I'm going to like them. But if somebody is continuously criticizing, we are like, what's up with this person? What side of the bed did they wake up on? So that is vyakti. And the third is paristhiti, situations. The situations in our life, they rob our mind off of the equanimity. Sometimes we don't get into accident, but we are going by and we see a horrible accident and we get disturbed, you know. I know I do. Sometimes I chant Trambakam Yajamahe. Oh Lord, you know, may that person be well. And sometimes some people get even very angry because some accident is there and the traffic is backed up, and they will look at it and they will get angry at the person who got into accident. Somebody is losing their life and they are more worried about them being stuck in the traffic than somebody got into a big mess, you know. So these are paristhithis. I'm giving you just some situations that we run into. Some stuck on 1604 for hours and say, what happened was an accident. But, you know, yeah, the traffic was there. But unfortunately, imagine that person who got stuck over there, taken by flight to a hospital. Just cross fingers, they make it. What else? It may be their fault or may not be their fault. Whatever it is, throwing the judgment out. So situations rob the equanimity of our mind. People rob the equanimity of our mind, and objects rob the equanimity of our mind. These three are the demons which make our mind yo-yo. Vastu, Vyakti, and Paristhiti. Three things that Shankaracharya ji addresses in his Bhashya. So, Yesham Samye Manahasthitam. In those people, when the mind is in the Samya Avastha, Samya equanimous. And those equanimous are people whose mind is not disturbed by these three things. Three things disturb us. I gave one example of, an accident on the road. But imagine a married couple having an argument, an ugly situation unfolding. At the breakfast, while having breakfast, some argument started. And that cup of coffee didn't feel like drinking it. Breakfast not feeling like eating, and storm out of the breakfast table, out into the car, at the work. And then imagine these emotions are just becoming the underlying bedrock of that day. And your colleague comes with some question and we lash out. with some emotions, because the equanimity of the mind was disturbed by an unpleasant conversation with the spouse during breakfast. It may be some children's activity or a child or in-laws or whatever it may be. So there are so many situations that disturb us. Children and extended family and work, and it just goes on and on. So apply any of these three things: objects, people, and situations, and try to see how much of the inner equanimity is being disturbed by these. We give them power to completely destroy our equanimity. We have given more power to the situation. You imagine some traffic jam, and we allow the traffic jam to make us angry. Imagine, isn't that absurd? If we really think about it from the drashti of Jnana, it is ludicrous that we invest our happiness on the situation of 1604. That's ridiculous. Some number highway, we have given it more power than ourselves. So next time when these things happen, look at it. Look at it. If the anger rises, think about it. Why angry? So this is what Bhagavan is trying to teach Arjuna, that remain calm. The wonder of wonder is the character of Bhagavan Shri Krishna throughout Mahabharata, where he remains calm. Ayyo, if you read Mahabharata, you wonder how you can remain calm. His feet are being washed in Rajasuya Yajna, and his own cousin. Oh, ho, 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 ho. What do? We chant Vishnu Sahasranam, and he started Gali Sahasranam towards Krishna. And you read Mahabharata, Krishna remains calm. Yudhishthira is perturbed. Bhishma is perturbed. And Lord Krishna just remains calm. And Bhagavan just remains calm. Because only such a personality can produce this Gita for us, you know. He has been through the whole thing. And on this evening before the war, Bhagavan is teaching this Gita. And he has seen Arjuna go through all this. He has seen Arjuna's anger, Bhima's anger. In the 14 years when they were in the forest, every time they saw Draupadi and her hair flowing, rattled up Arjuna and Bhima, and Bhagavan remains calm. This is where the test of knowledge remains. There are so many things that can disturb our inner poise. In our very nuclear family, children and spouse. little outside of the ripple of the nuclear family, the extended family. And the ripple just goes out, like when you throw a rock in a steady lake and ripples come out. In the same way, the ripple of the epicenter of so-called our life can be disturbed. And it just goes out and out and out. And we allow people to create ripples in our mind. Every time I get rattled, and I do get rattled, I admit. You can, I've had some heated conversations with Prakash ji, and then I calm down, and I realize, we are working with an institution, and there are financial constraints, and then people and objects, and so many things are tossed up in the air. And of course it is. And I'm a sannyasi. With this, I'm getting rattled. Then I can understand, people just living a life without the privilege of learning Bhagavad Gita. I catch myself in the evening. I say, what have I done in the day? How did I misbehave with certain people? What did I say? Did I say proper words? Every time, my Ishtadevata is Bhagavan, Shivji and Parvati ji, Shiva and Shakti. But I always looked up to Narayan Bhagavan, Krishna, as the one who lives the life, because he's teaching. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Life has to be lived according to Gita. This is a litmus test of our life. How much do we lose our inner equipoise? Thus, these are the qualities of a man of wisdom. Quietude of mind. Very important. We have to cultivate this. And it's okay, we can lose some bearings here and there, but then we have to only pick them up and place them right back where they dropped from, It's okay. It happens. So, such people who are equipoised, what happens? Such people, ihaiva taihi sargajitaha. Such people have conquered the world. And how? Where do they dwell? Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Ahaha. This is one of the adhikaran in Brahma Sutras. Brahman is referred to as Nirdosham. Brahman, Nirdosham, which is spotless, taintless. The purer than the purest is Brahman. Purer than the purest. Most divine. Only when the mind is equipoised, equanimous, quiet, in that mind, the reflection of Brahman can happen. If anybody is privileged to go to Kailash Mansarovar, the lake which sits in front of Mount Kailash is called Manasa Sarovar. It is a lake of the mind of Brahmaji. And on a cold day, if you arrive over there, the lake is still. It is so still that when Kailash on the opposite end of the lake reflects into the lake, you don't know which one is real, whether the reflection or the mountain. Because the entire panoramic scenery reflects in the lake. And we get confused. In the perfect symmetry as to what is real. That stillness of the mind in there reflects the most auspicious mountain, Shiva, in the steady Manasa lake will reflect the most auspicious Brahman. And that Brahman is Nirdosham. It has no taint. But imagine if in that Manasa lake, which is reflecting Kailash, you throw in a giant boulder, what will happen? A giant ripple. In fact, so much ripple, and the dirt of the bottom of the lake gets stirred that no reflection is seen anymore. That is what has happened in our minds. Boulders of people, situations, and objects are falling in our tranquil mind. And it makes our mind disturbed. And it doesn't allow us to see the absolute. So what is referred to over here is when that mind becomes still. In that mind reflects Brahman, truth. And that truth is spotless. And we don't know what is real. Is it the reflection or the absolute? For once, we look at our mind and we are dumbfounded. Oh, my mind, are you the same? This is to be achieved in meditation. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Tasmad brahmani te stitaha. Therefore, they are considered to be the ones who are the knowers of Brahman, the knowers of truth. For they have readjusted all the knobs of the life of objects, people, and situations so that they don't fall in the tranquil mind. And the mind remains still. And they're able to enjoy the inner bliss of the absolute. William Wordsworth has written a poetry very beautifully. It's called Daffodils. For off and on my couch I lay, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my inner eye, which is a bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. I believe William Wordsworth was a knower of truth. He captured the words of Upanishad and Gita so beautifully. For often on my couch I lay, in vacant or in pensive mood. That is called Dhyanavastha, meditation. They flash upon my inward eye, the inner mind, which is a bliss of solitude. No object, people, or situation has arrived. It is solitude all by itself. Nothing has invaded my inner. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. The outside daffodils becomes a cause of a joy of Brahman on the inside. This is Samatva Buddhi. So there are no self-realized souls only in India. All around the world they are. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Robert Browning, the sonnets of Shakespeare, these are acme of knowledge and wisdom. We will continue next week with Bhagavad Gita. In case if you want to join me this week, I'm doing a yajna for Chinmay Mission, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I will post it on CMSA, the flyer. You are welcome to join, or just go to the website of Chinmay Mission Pittsburgh and you will find the link. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.
Namaste. Hari Om Swamiji.
Namaste Amma. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.